What is a contract and what makes it legal? A contract is an agreement between two or more parties to perform legally enforceable rights and obligations. Texas real estate contract law requires 6 elements for a valid and enforceable contract. The 6 elements are competent parties, consideration, mutual agreement, which is mutual assent, a lawful objective, a written agreement signed by all parties, and must also contain a legal description. So let's take a closer look at each of these elements. In Texas, competent parties are 18 years old and in control of their mental faculties. A contract signed by a minor under the age of 18 is voidable. I will explain more about contract types like voidable before we wrap up. A competent party is a person that's 18 years old that is sane and sober. Another point worth mentioning is a competent party can name another party to act on their behalf as an attorney in fact by executing a power of attorney. According to Texas courts, consideration binds a purchase agreement. Consideration is a promise given in exchange for a promise. The promise is typically in the form of money, like when a seller promises to sell and the buyer promises to purchase for an agreed price. I want to mention there are other valid contractual agreements that may not involve this type of consideration. A few examples are estate planning transfers that may be the result of property conveyances to heirs or transfers to trust accounts, gifts between family members, or maybe even a court ordered dissolution of marriage. Something to keep in mind is earnest money does not create a valid contract. Earnest money may demonstrate how serious a buyer may be about purchasing, since it may be used to liquidate damages. Another point is an option contract requires an interested party to pay money to a property owner, creating a binding contract. This payment gives the interested buyer the option to purchase or terminate. Mutual agreement means willing parties agree to the rights, responsibilities, and obligations of a contract. License holders must ensure disclosure of truthful and accurate information when writing contracts. Did you know properties sold as is with known material defects must be disclosed? Concealing a known defect may result in a voidable transaction. The terms and conditions of the contract must define lawful activity. A contract cannot be written for an illegal purpose or violate public policy to be enforceable in Texas. Any wording that does not meet these requirements may render the contract void or unenforceable for a legal purpose. An example might be a lease stating an owner has the right to enter a property and seize goods to satisfy non-payment of rent. Well, this is not legal and would violate protections for Texas tenants. In Texas, the statute of frauds requires written contracts to be signed by all parties. Oral agreements to sell a property are non enforceable and they are void. However, an oral agreement for a lease for 1 year or less is acceptable. When making offers and counteroffers, Texas real estate license holders are required to submit written offers. The Texas statute of frauds states a contract must contain a legal description. A street address is not a legal description used to convey property. The most common forms of real estate legal descriptions are recorded plats, where the lot, block, section number, and subdivision name are provided, or it may also be meets and bounds that are used as the legal description. So, how do I know that this contract is legal? Well, Real estate contractual agreements may be valid, void, unenforceable, or voidable. When each of the six elements are included in a contract, it is valid. If a contract does not have these elements, it is void, meaning there is no contract because something is missing. Unenforceable contracts have all six of the valid elements, but it's not enforceable under law. For example, perhaps a party that is not competent signed the contract. Voidable includes an option to rescind the contract. A contract with an option period is an example of this. So before I wrap up, I want to mention again that a contract is an agreement between two or more parties to perform specific legally enforceable rights and obligations. The Texas real estate contract law requires all six elements to ensure a contract is valid and enforceable. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Before you leave, like or subscribe to know when I add more videos. Tell me if you have questions or video ideas. Leave a comment or scan the code for my contact information. Make it a great day.